Hey everybody, my name is Ankit Singh, student of BE Computer Science and Engineering, and today we are going to discuss about nuclear power plants. And the topic of our discussion will be what is nuclear power energy, how nuclear power plants generate electricity, and then what are the environmental effects after we generate the electricity from these nuclear power plants, and then what are the nuclear wastes, how we manage it, and then the safety concerns and upcoming future scopes. So guys, here the introduction of the nuclear power plants. So guys, we all know that when it comes to the traditional way of generation of the electricity, out of all the sources, the thermal power plants are more famous than other alternatives like solar energy or wind energy or hot water power plants, because as compared to them, the return to investment in this power plant like thermal is very high. But we all know that the fuel which is used in this thermal power plant is coal, and coal is not something which is always available. Also, there are major environmental impacts like air pollution and that global warming. So, government also always prefer these nuclear power plants over all the other alternatives because first of all, the return to investment is very high. The initial setup cost will be high, but after that, they return the cost. It goes for a longer time, and there is no so much pollution, and always there are some professionals which are maintaining these plants. So there is very less chance of being into an accident. So it is like that. So now we are going to see in the latest slide. So the nuclear power plants are the large facilities that are used control nuclear fission reaction to generate electricity. They play significant role in the providing reliable carbon-free energy to power the homes, business, and industries around the world. So it is like that. The introduction to the. So here's how the nuclear fission reaction works. So here in which we can see the diagram. There will be a control rod which is put into this chamber where the uranium fuel has been put, and there are some certain mechanisms are present. So here we use some fission reaction. In the first step, fission reaction means actually there will be one uranium atom, and we put bombard some nucleus on it. So that because of that nucleus, this nuclear uranium atom will be split into the two smaller uranium atoms, plus there will be three additional neutrons released. That additional three neutrons will be go and hit other uraniums. So it will be multiple of the three, and it will grow like this. So it can be controlled also by using some control rods. These control rods has been put inside, which will absorb these extra neutrons and stop this reaction. So in the nuclear power plants, the uranium splits into the smaller atoms, and this control process is known as nuclear fission, and it releases heat energy. And that heat energy which is released is being used to boil the water and produce the steam, which then later used to turn the turbines on to generate the electricity. Actually, when this water has been heated up, the steam will be generated, and it will go through this uh, pipe, and it will go and just rotate this turbine somehow. So when the turbine rotates, that turbine has been connected to a shaft, and shaft will be connected to a rotor, with the help of which we are going to generate the electricity. After the spinning of the turbine, the there is some mechanical energy which is unusable to generate the electrical energy. So here's the benefit of the nuclear power plants. It's a clean energy source because it does not release any type of carbon atoms, and then it's a reliable source of energy, as we all know that once the uranium has been extracted and put inside the core of the nuclear power plant, it will go even longer than that coal fuel which is used in thermal power plants, and it's cost effective. As I told, the return to investment on these plants is very high as compared to thermal power plants. So here's the environmental effect of the nuclear power plants. There is low carbon emission, The nuclear power plants do not emit greenhouse gases during the operation, reducing the environmental impacts as compared to fossil fuel-based power generation. And the radioactive waste. The radioactive waste produced by these nuclear power plants must be used carefully, has been managed and minimize the health risks and their potential accidents. As we all know that in the past decade, there were some catastrophic accidents like Chernobyl and Fukushima. So we have to take care of this. So there is a nuclear safety and regulations. Strict regulations has been kept, like nuclear power plants are subject to extensive safety regulations and oversight by government agencies to ensure the safety operations, like only government officials which are authorized by the government of India or any other countries of government official, they only can handle this nuclear power plants. And there are multiple barriers. Nuclear power plants have multiple redundant safety systems and contaminant structure there to prevent the release of radioactive materials. And then emergency preparedness. Comprehensive emergency response plan are placed quickly to address any incident and protect the public in the case of event. So there are nuclear waste management, how the nuclear waste has been managed after the fuel life or that uranium life cycle has been over. So spent fuel storage. The spent fuel is initially stored into the on-site secure, heavily shielded pools allowed near the cooling and the radioactive decay. And we can reprocess it. Some of the countries reprocess the spent fuel to reuse the extra uranium or plutonium which is present inside there to generate more electricity. And then the geological disposal. Long-term, high-level radioactive waste is typically stored in deep geologically stable underground repositories to isolate them from the environment. So here's the emerging technologies which are being used for the nuclear power plants, like fission power, and then small modular reactors and the thorium reactors. So these are some of the potential which we can use to that as a future technologies which are emerging from the nuclear. So here's the future of the nuclear power plants. So there's an increase in efficiency of the after setting up these nuclear power plants, because as we all know the advanced reactor design and fuel utilization is improved, so overall efficiency is going to improve itself. And then improve safety. So these nuclear power plants, as we all know, requires a very high security, and in the case of emergency we have to keep some combat readiness. So yeah, it's very improved safety. And then the sustainability. So innovation in the nuclear waste management and exploration of the alternative fuel resources like thorium and enhancing the long-term sustainability in the nuclear power. So thank you. We're gonna meet in next video.